On three. One, two, three. Oh, come on.
No, we're not gonna get better. We're not gonna get better. I didn't know. Come on, Gabe. Get ready, Gabe.
1 clap, 2 clap, 3 clap.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out here. I mean, holy smokes, we got a ton of people in here.
First time you've had more than one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. We in the Joe Pappalardo episode, we had Brant just sitting in the corner, just trying not to sneeze.
Classic Brant.
Classic Brant.
Yeah, he's allergic to dogs, so during his episode, the dog was just kind of like running in and out, and he was just sneezing into a toilet paper roll for an hour and a half, 45 minutes.
Oh, poor guy. Got a lot of good footage.
Yeah, got good footage, and also, you know, he really sacrificed himself to make this happen, which is what it's about, right?
It's the love of the game, actually.
Yeah.
It's the love of the game.
The love of the broadcast. So, I don't think we're actually going to do like a normal introduction here because, you know, there's so many of you. I feel like you should introduce yourselves.
Yeah.
You know,
because yeah.
You know, hey, you don't even need to use your real names. You know, we're not going to force you to do that.
Anime Anonymous.
You do have to use a protagonist from a shonen anime though if you're not going to use yours. Okay.
That's only fair.
Mine.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We'll start from the far end. Guy on the end.
All right, I'm Tanjiro.
We're
going that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be them.
You can be you. It's up to you.
I'm just gonna be Dominic.
Okay.
I'm Joe's brother.
I'm Edward Elric.
Yes,
Nice.
classic.
Classic.
I'm Silas Strehle, the youngest of the Strehle brothers.
Nice.
So
There you go.
Yes.
we've got all three of us on now.
Wait,
Yeah, you could potentially still be a shonen anime protagonist. You got time.
Yeah.
You're at the start where things are high. You know, eventually you're gonna drop out of school because Dom's gonna get murdered by a samurai master. You're gonna have to start training.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's just a
Or a
logical
demon,
answer.
or a insanely large human that's naked all the time.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah. What's up? So what was up with Edward Elric? What are you, like, atheist?
No, I just think he's a good character. I like to put my faith in, faith and reason. That reason being science. It's pretty cool.
There you go.
No, Light's a cool guy. I just went with that.
Yeah.
Just
This
a
guy.
good moral dude.
Well, yeah, no, this guy unironically looks up to Light Yagami.
Yeah, run us through that.
Yeah,
Right.
let's hear.
What did
Run us through it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Did the ends justify the means?
basically, I just think he's a more intelligent guy than L. I think for what he had and what.
So does that justify his actions? Literally killing people.
I don't hold him in
The
high
biggest mass
regard
murderer ever.
Like morally, I don't think he's the best moral person. But I think L wasn't either. I think L did what he did for like pride reasons. That was his whole persona.
He did it for the love of the game.
Yeah,
Right.
And I think that's fine, but you're not going to hold him as this great, standard of morality.
Yeah.
I think what it was just him, that was who he was going about and, finding all these criminals and stuff. And so it was just, he wanted it for his pride. Whereas Light,
He wasn't prideful.
okay, he wanted to be the god of the new world.
Enslaved a woman. Like, look, bitch.
At least I think in his kind of screwed up mind, he thought he was doing the right thing. At least in the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, you could say the same for L though.
Sure.
But only one of them had like a weird thing about candy.
Yeah.
On their feet.
Yeah.
You can't stand L because he's a freak.
A freak? Come on, the guy just has autism. It's just that simple. Right? Yeah. Let's not go that.
Yeah, we're not
far.
going to disparage.
Autism representation in anime. It's pretty high. Actually, Death Note, as far as like if you were to get the ultimate autistic spectrum thing out of it, would be it's like 100%. Face within face within face. I'm gonna spend half the episode explaining my plans. Very autistic.
There you go. Yeah. Goodness. All right. So I think the major question, right, on everybody's minds who's listening more than anything is, how did this happen? Because I'm looking at 4 very well-adjusted human beings. Right? Yeah. For I would say, and I don't mean this disparagingly, right?
Okay.
But like guys that would probably have been categorized as popular dudes, right? Like, hanging out with. I mean, you guys are put together. You don't come across as anime guys, and I know. That sort of spectrum has shifted a lot in the last couple of years, right? There's a lot more people watching, but sort of talk me through how 4 guys get together their freshman year and become their own insular anime club.
I think Dom actually has the best.
So me and Dage were both watching Squid Games at the same time.
Yeah.
And Dage was like, "Oh, we can just watch together on your TV." And so then we all 4 started watching Squid Games.
Yeah.
And Silas came with the great idea. "Oh, I really like anime.
Yeah, you know what else has subtitles? You know,
It was just so similar. You know, different language. You have to read subtitles. It's just a great show. You know,
it is.
So you don't understand like half the things in it, but you watch it.
So yeah,
You guys liked Squid Game?
it was okay.
It was entertaining. They brought us together.
You're gonna forget about it in 6 months. That's why you're gonna forget about it in 6 months. So you know.
We didn't get broken down like all at once though. We promised to one episode. You know, we were like, we'll watch one episode.
Yeah.
At least I did.
So here's what happened.
So real quick though, to provide additional context, right? So pre coming to Hillsdale and entering into this corrupting force that is Silas Strehle.
Yeah. Right.
What was your experience with anime, right? Most likely, right? Not the best.
I made fun of it.
Yeah. So let's go down the line. Gabe, how about you?
So I'd seen one before. I'd seen Full Metal Alchemist,
Based.
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
My brother got me into that.
Yeah.
And I was on the fence of embracing it as a whole because I'm like, all right, I like the show, but I don't want to go beyond that.
Yeah. Understood.
Fair enough.
Get that. Yeah.
Which is smart.
I worked with people over the summer that they really wanted me to watch it, and I was just like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then
It took a pure soul to break you down.
Right?
Beautiful paragon.
I think it was more the idea that we can make fun of Silas and watch something, and then it was good. So
Yeah.
All right. Okay. How about you?
I'd seen Spirited Away.
Okay.
So that was kind of my introduction. I saw that with my
Miyazaki.
brother.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw that with my brother, and then I saw it again at school, and so that kind of opened me up to the idea of kind of like the Eastern.
Yeah.
Eastern
Yeah.
animation.
So basically what happened, right? I'm the weeb, right?
Yeah.
Even though I would consider myself a normal guy sometimes.
Okay. So I mean, you say that like for additional context, he also was captain of the football team,
That's true.
Who's the quarterback?
quarterback, and head of ASB, correct?
Yeah.
SAB.
Senior class
SAB?
president.
Yeah,
Senior class president.
Senior class president, and the man not only watches anime, he watches more than I have now, and has corrupted
Yeah.
additional people into watching it. Right.
Yeah. So
that's not the classic mold.
No. So my main form is manipulation, right? So I was like, hey, what will these guys be most open-minded to? And it's a mass murderer who writes in a notebook and kills a lot of people, right? So I just was like, just watch one episode. And sure enough, because here's the big thing that I have come to the conclusion of, is people have these stigmas. Like Gabe said, like Nashe and Dom said, Nashe a little less. They go in thinking negatively.
Yeah.
And then if you don't force them to, but if you allow them to watch something, then they like it.
It's like drugs.
But here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that we've had 3 other people have all seen like one episode and they all hate it.
Yeah.
Well, that's define
true.
hate.
Sarah hates it.
Does she?
Thomas hates it.
Does he?
No,
John
he doesn't.
I got hatred out of that.
Yeah.
We're just throwing out names of people that people have no context for.
Yeah.
Yes, they're not here to
defend
defend. Yeah,
themselves.
they can't be here to.
But yeah,
counterpoint,
basically, I showed them one episode of Death Note. Nashe in particular latched on. That's his obsession, really, is that show. And
Good show.
I kind of knew that Nashe would like it because of his personality. That's not a diss on you, I promise. And then I knew he would want to watch more. So is it manipulation? Maybe, but I did it. And hey, here we are today.
He has justified the needs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's a
very
gateway.
Death Note.
Exactly.
Yeah, to clarify, the formatting on this episode, I guess, is a little different than our usual formatting.
Yeah.
Because, I think, because usually what we do is we bring in somebody, they talk about their obsession from the previous week, call it their whale, that's why it's called Monomaniacs. But in this particular case, it's more like a curiosity cabinet that we've opened up, kind of looking into.
We're looking for the Indian in the cupboard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the one there, right? Okay, cool. Sweet. So this is how you guys are sort of brought into the mold, right? And this kind of parallels my experience in a lot of ways because Silas, I introduced him to anime through the same way.
Sure.
I don't know if you know
Yes.
this, but I was the one that corrupted this boy initially, and I said, hey, you should watch Death Note, right? Because it's the classic opener.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or Brotherhood, I would say, are the 2 best entry level.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially since Brotherhood, the dub is good.
The dub is
Yes.
good on Brotherhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
We primarily go dub. Primarily,
Wow.
we didn't for Demon Slayer, and we aren't for Attack on Titan, because some people don't focus all the time and then can't read. And then
I can't.
It's not
I can't read the subtitles fast enough.
Yeah.
That's not a knock against you more than anything. Right?
Yeah.
No.
Just it's fine.
Which we should bring up the fact that we've got 3 people repping shirts right now. Right.
Yeah.
We've got the reference Demon Slayer over there.
$9
Two
from
JoJo's.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Go hard.
Yeah.
You gotta love graphic tees, man.
Nothing, you know.
Yeah.
So
Either that or Ghostbusters.
yeah. Yeah. So interesting. This is all classic stuff. Now, so you guys went through a classic progression, you know, more and more extreme. Eventually, harder and harder drugs.
What would the heroine be in your estimation?
Neon Genesis. Yeah.
That's more like a DMT. Like that's you go on a trip.
Yeah.
So I saw a video a couple of weeks ago. It was like how to get people to watch anime, right?
Yeah.
And it was like start them off with Avatar because it's not really anime, but they get introduced to animation, right? And then it's like go to Full Metal. And it's like yeah, fair enough. You know, you get most of the tropes and it's a little easy to digest.
Yeah.
And they're like maybe do like a Cowboy Bebop or something. Just broaden their horizons. And like whatever you do, do not show them Neon Genesis. Whatever you do.
And that seemed to work on you guys.
No.
They bounced out.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Ups and downs.
We've been on a cold stretch since we started that.
Yeah. So then I guess this sort of leans into, you know, what was exactly the things that bounced you off of it, which I guess is a broader conversation about the tropes of anime that do not really translate super well, you know, especially in polite company.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, right, anime, a lot of sexualization of characters. Right, okay.
Not as much as you would think from the outside perspective, right?
Okay,
I would
okay.
say a lot of people from the outside think it's a lot worse than it is.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
things
Heroin's
like Death
not
Note.
nearly as addictive as they sound. Yeah, you can try it once. But yeah, so what were your guys' I know your initial reactions were probably not the greatest, but like what are your guys' thoughts on that? How do you justify it to yourself? Right? Or do you even justify it to yourself? Do you think it's like, you know, reprehensible in a lot of respects?
Yeah, I think Neon was just a lot. And there were certain moments that you just had no idea what was going on, especially like the ending of the show, not the movie. It was just, you have no idea what's going on. It doesn't wrap it up in a traditional way.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, I was very uncomfortable with that fact, and obviously there are other things I was uncomfortable with. But just the untraditional nature of it was just very difficult for me to grasp, and that just kind of
it's a hard contrast, especially if you don't really watch hard television, right? Or even horror. You're not watching.
Poor choice of words.
So you know, in my mind, though, I think the difference that's different with like Evangelion because it was sort of created as an anime initially. Is that if you're watching something from Shonen or you're watching something that's an adaptation, you're talking about something that was supposed to get somebody reading like a fourth of an episode every week. So it's just all of these insane cliffhangers that are built in constantly, you know, into every episode, into every, you know, like scene in every episode. So you just feel this weird constant push forward. Like that's always what's kind of hooked me about it. It's like, it's actually manipulating me. You know, like I don't know if I'm even enjoying this arc, you know, where they're fighting a ghost or something. You're just watching them fight a ghost for 4 episodes, but there's just that last moment. It always hooks you in, and you just keep going over and over again.
Well, I feel like we're avoiding the question that I asked, though, right? Which is how have you reconciled the over-sexualization, right? Because you guys are all pretty button-up boys, right? You're all good kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least that's what I've been told. So I'll have to ambush somebody, right? I'm gonna have to go directly. Dom.
I just didn't like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just kept waiting for it to get better and just stop happening because Silas was his favorite show, you know. So
it's a rough one.
Talking about like anime overall too, right? Like so anything that you're watching, you know, they tend to have over sexualization in it, not necessarily just Neon Genesis. So like any show he's going to show you, right? There's probably going to be there, right? Or there's going to be some aspect of it.
It's definitely a culture change. Like it's different to Japan, and Sasuke always explains that. He's
like, look, it's the age of consent in Japan.
It's like you get like 14-year-old girls, even like Attack on Titan. It's like they was like, oh, she's legal now.
Why you call Nation
now
like
I
that?
can't show my mom this.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
He's just pointing out the fact that she wasn't before, and it's a little weird that she wasn't before, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Understood. Yeah, I get that. All right. Gabe, how about you? You're not talking over there. Give me a little heat, dude.
Dude, it definitely seems a little like
It's
gratuitous
much. Yeah.
to the point where it's like, I guess that's a question in any film or show is like how much is like necessary. But like it's like you get some shots where we all look at Silas and go, what the hell, man? What is this, man? What are we doing? But we kept up with it, and I'm glad we finished the show, even if it was.
So I was trying to sell it to you was like,
a
you
lot.
guys like cartoons, right? And you're like, I guess. You're like, oh, but what if they were for perverts? What if they were for perverts? I'm like, hell yeah.
So I have a different view. So like, I have a different view. Context.
Yeah.
It's not about, no, I'm not saying it's context.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of the same thing. My mom even confronted me about it during winter break, where she was like, well, aren't all anime just like decently sexualizing underage women, right? And the way that I got them into it, legitimately, is I didn't show them any show with that until later on, until with Neon Genesis. So you would say like Death Note, it doesn't have it as much. It has Misa, but
Okay, let's just
she's
sidetrack
of
that
age
out.
and it's a little not what.
So I lost a bet kind of, and I guess not a bet, but they made me buy an anime poster.
Yeah.
And we were gonna get Misa because it's like funny.
Yeah.
We were trying to find a Misa poster that wasn't sexualized.
Yeah.
We couldn't find one.
Nothing.
We just couldn't find one.
Well,
So-
you got to keep in mind there's a couple of things. One, and I'm the guy who provided context. Trust me, this isn't for pervert reasons. But a vast majority of the anime that kind of becomes popular in the United States of America is all based off of. It's mostly shonen, which I don't believe Death Note was shonen. I don't know if that's the case.
No,
Might have
Demon
been.
Slayer, I would say.
Yeah,
is a
Demon
shonen.
Slayer is like a shonen, but the primary demographic that they're selling the manga to is like 14-year-old boys. And so like imagine, like in America how we have comic books and, back before like 2012 when it got a little more like politically correct. Like the they were putting women in was insane, like the leather get-ups and whatnot, and it's like it's to sell stuff to 14-year-old boys.
He crossed the
I did? Oh, no. Well, see, the thing is, I get to edit this.
Yeah.
But, you distracted me.
Yeah.
I was on a roll. But
I just want to make sure that they do.
they're trying to set it up so that a guy, a little Japanese boy gets a nosebleed when he opens it up and puts it in the cart. So that translates. Then when it translates, you're like, what the hell? This doesn't.
Yeah, because it's whiplash because the subject matter is so intense, right? So it's like, you wouldn't expect a 14-year-old to enjoy something, or the child that is obsessed with Death Note at 14 years old, it's a problem.
You knew those guys.
I know. It's
You shouldn't be saying child. It's a teenager.
Yeah, that's true. It's
right?
problematic.
We knew those guys. I knew a guy who literally his whole thing was that he was like he wore striped long sleeve shirts. he had like a corpse lock, which is this hairstyle from the band Misfits, where it's like just a long triangle lock that went over his eye. And he would just look around and write in his notebook, and I was like, "That's my name is in there, man." I gotta hit the eraser on that. But yeah, and I don't know. I mean, that's part of the reason why there's so much stigma around it is that those were the guys. But
I don't know. I think you brought up a point that I kind of wanted to touch on the fact that anime in general is more of it's just more mature than most things that we see in the Western animation sphere, right? So like what we're used to in the Western world, shut up, is things like Disney, right? Where you see like Cinderella and those kind of like princess stories and other things like that. But then when you get into anime and it has those things like Death Note, where it's literally about a mass murderer, and it's kind of more intense in that way, it's a weird shift. And I think that's what actually gets a lot of people into it, is they're not used to seeing animation portray these darker things, whether or not it's murder or bad things. Like what was the other one? Like we watched one called Erased, which you guys haven't seen, but that just has dark themes. It's a good show, and it doesn't hypersexualize anyone. Also, why I showed them, but but it has
it exists.
It has adult themes in which will drag in people who are more older than those 14-year-old kids. You don't see just the princess stories when it comes to animation. You see broader terms.
in the West, you got to watch like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Or something. Prestige television.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would consider, Death Note anywhere close to Breaking Bad.
Nash would disagree.
Nash, you looked like you were about to say something.
No, I haven't seen Breaking Bad, so it's just something I was going to say. No, I
That's a
haven't.
show you like.
I was going to say, I think for Neon, like, trying to think of how to phrase it. I think it was necessary for what they were trying to portray, in that it was like the psyche of young boys and the mental. I'm not gonna say mental illness, but just
It was
mental illness and just kind of the the way his brain worked and stuff like that. So I think it was necessary in that show.
I remember Dylan once calling me on the phone because I haven't seen End of Evangelion. And he was like, "You have to watch End of Evangelion. It'll, it makes anybody who ever like thought that, just like, they're like, you son of a bitch. Why would you think that? It's and I don't know. I don't think that's true. That sounds like apologia. But
So I watched it for the second time with these 4 boys. I brought them into this basement. We sat down, we watched the thing.
What happened next?
I brought 4 boys and young nubiles into my basement.
Oh my god.
No, but yeah, it definitely, the second time around, it was a little, I would say, especially when I was watching with other people.
Yeah, that's the key point. I think
Yeah, when
also.
it was me and my own private time, it was a little bit more digestible. Yeah, interesting. Okay, what are we doing on time?
We got plenty of time.
We're on.
Yeah.
25 minutes.
25, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm just figuring out when we want to throw out the Patreon questions, but we'll wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay, all right. Enough for the, over here. Okay. So what's next is the big question.
Yeah.
Because, summer begins soon. You guys are all going home.
Mhm.
Is this going to be like a
Homework.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants situation?
Oh. Yeah, should we talk about yesterday's? You want to talk about
What?
the room assignments?
Oh, no. We're not going to get into that. Basically, we had housing disputes on where we're going to live next year, and we had an opportunity to have 3 of us live in the same room in a fraternity house.
Yeah, I'll say
And-
which 3.
Yeah, we're not going to say which 3, and then one person decided not to take that opportunity.
Yeah.
So then it might affect the future of
Of the club? Oh,
Wow,
geez.
so it's a Jeopardy, right?
a little bit.
Does the Constitution cover
So
this situation?
There is a constitution,
No, it
right?
doesn't.
The bylaws.
The bylaws. There's bylaws.
The bylaws are unofficial still, though.
Yeah.
So
They haven't been
formal.
ratified yet. We follow them through tradition.
Yeah, it's more of
Ratified.
like oral tradition.
Yeah,
kind of
so okay, then what are your guys' position?
Oh, I'm president.
President, okay.
I don't think I have a position.
I think I'm scribe.
Yeah.
I'm vice president because I had the second most experience in watching with
Oh,
my
wow.
show.
Actually, you do have
Then
a
I
position.
call treasurer.
There you
It
go.
is. So,
Because there's a lot of money running through.
Yeah.
Going directly.
My debit card actually is.
Buy more posters.
You gotta tell that story.
I don't want to
You gotta
incriminate
tell us-
myself.
No, yeah, say it. I'll tell if you don't.
Okay, so we're sitting there, Gabe, Nash, and I, wanting to watch an episode or 2, just dabble. I think, what show was it? I think it was Full Metal.
When you took a picture.
The first one?
When you bought it, it was Full Metal.
Yeah, when I bought it. So basically, we're sitting there, and Dom, the simp, is, he has a girlfriend, and he was with her instead of with the boys watching anime.
Wow.
So I text him and I
Cringe.
say, you better be back by X o'clock.
Yeah.
Right? And he said,
It was 10.
sure, by 10. And he's like, sure, I'll be back by 10.
Mhm.
And then I was like, are you going to? And he was like, maybe not. Maybe I'm getting busy. And I was like, okay, let me warn you, buddy. You better be back by 10 o'clock. Right?
me.
So exactly, Gabe. So we hit.
This is how a president secures power.
Exactly. Yeah,
This is a
It's him
coup.
being a strong man.
Yeah.
So it's 9:59, and I'm waiting, and I may or may not have in the past, because I knew the situation was going to come up. basically.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Don't want to incriminate myself.
Yeah.
Taking a photo of his debit card.
It's a felony, by the way.
Is it a felony if the other party consents?
He didn't
I didn't consent. I heard I was supposed to delete
Do
it.
you consent in the after?
No.
No.
Absolutely not consent?
When I showed up,
So this allegedly happened.
Allegedly, I take a photo of his debit card, right? So I'm sitting there at 9:59. Me and the boys have already picked out a poster that we're gonna buy with Dom's money because, hey, he's not contributing by being there, so he better contribute by giving us
So I hadn't already bought a poster or anything.
No, hey, we don't have to talk about that. So we're sitting there, and 10 o'clock hits. I have the whole thing set up, and I click buy now, and it goes through. And the second that it goes through, I get a text that says, stop, I'm on my way. Right? Too late. Sorry, Dom. So we got a poster.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna make it clear, we still watched that night too. Like it wasn't like we kept watching.
You only got one.
But you were
episode.
proud of the entire time.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 'cause I had my phone. I had like 3 notifications from my email. He put my email in for the confirmation. And then, this way it gets worse too.
Yeah.
I went to go pick it up from the mail office because they delivered it there. And all that was on it was my first name. So I didn't have my last name. There's another Dominic on our hall. So she didn't know which one it was for. And the box wasn't sealed.
Yeah.
And she was like asking me what was inside the box to confirm that it was me. The person that works in the mail office opened the box and saw what poster was inside. And so now everyone just says I'm a weeb.
Dom, is it something that you wouldn't be proud of to have a poster?
Maybe.
It's not bad.
Yeah, you can say what it was. What,
No, just who was it?
It was Winry. It was Winry.
Wholesome waifu, Winry.
Yes.
It is my favorite poster on our wall right now. I will say that. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, so the three of us, Gabe, Nation, and I actually came to a good decision.
Yeah.
And did
$25 out of my buy. I spent $50 on that.
$25 for a poster?
It
was a nice poster.
It's a nice poster.
really nice
Yeah.
But it's still $25.
Is it one of those like scrolls?
Yeah.
No,
it's
the
like-
first
You get the
Mitsubishi
hot
was like that.
topic? Oh, okay.
But
No,
we
so
we
it's
kinda
like
messed it up.
actually, how do you explain it?
The Winry one?
Yeah.
It's like glossy. It's like this big. It's a nice poster.
No, but like the style that
Money
it's in.
well
It's kind of
spent.
in like a.
But you know, like have you seen the Obama meme where it's like the different like
Yeah,
red
yeah.
and blue?
It's like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that.
It's
Wow.
that style.
It's
Guys,
Winry
it's like
sitting
red
there
2008 all
with the
over
crop
again.
top, and it's
Yeah.
Winry with the red and blue, and it's great.
It's awesome.
And now the whole wall is just like it's
Oh
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good story. Going into the library and printing off anime posters.
Did you guys do that?
Yeah.
We were there for like an hour. It was great.
Yeah. Well, so did you go down on the DL, right? Like, were you nervous that other people were going to find you printing those posters?
They were.
Nation was not scared. Nation Naruto ran through the library as we were going in.
All right, this brings up an important note. We brought this up in the Dean Sinclair episode, but Silas, you got to tell me whether or not this had a tangible impact on you and your understanding of anime, but how your football team
Yes.
understood and consumed it.
Yeah. So before I even touched anime, I had people on my football team that were obsessed with Naruto, and they were like, if we had an away game that was more than 20-minute drive, they would sit there in the back of the bus and watch Naruto. They'd be like, "Oh, it's time to put the dub on and just not really like have to pay attention too much. We're just gonna watch Naruto."
A lot of filler
So-
in that show.
Yes. Yes. So it was weird because the stigma of it is just, the people that Shad described.
Yeah.
With that one guy who was, had the long sleeve and had the hair and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But in my case, I was surrounded by athletes and people that were, thought of themselves as cool in the school,
Yeah.
and they were the ones consuming it. So it was a weird
So they were
difference.
running drills and then also practicing their shadow jutsu.
Legitimately, I had a couple kids on the team that knew all the jutsus. I've never seen Naruto, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, they would hit you with them every once in a while.
There
Yeah.
you go.
That's when you knew it was on.
Yeah. Shadow clone jutsu.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, serious.
You're on the line. Yeah. You hit the jutsu.
If I was on the line and a guy across from me just brought his fist back up, did a jutsu, went back onto his fist, I'm like, that's it. Throw me on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Goodness
very
gracious.
cool. So what? Tell me what this is like on your average excursion. What's the democratic process by which is it just
A single
the
tastemaker?
dictator
Yeah.
as far as what you watch next?
Not every. No.
One time we voted on the whiteboard. We had a whiteboard. We wrote the
Nice.
3 shows, and then everyone put a tally down within 24 hours of what show they wanted.
Yeah. And
Now,
then
with 4 people, it's a very close
well,
race.
But we had at least 7 tallies. So.
Yeah. I think Nish kind of messed with
Did you step up? You were like, we got to stop the steal.
Yes.
Marching on the anime capital.
Yeah. Well, actually, this does bring up a very important question. You guys have a lot of friends who are not into this kind of thing. Like, how do they feel about the fact that you watch this stuff? Like, some of you got significant others. How do they feel about it? Right? The close people in your life.
Sarah actually saw the first episode last night.
Whoa.
I was very uncomfortable. I don't think she had a good time, but maybe she did.
It was Attack though. Like
It was Attack on Titan. It was Attack. So that's like the best one. So she's starting off.
Was it the
only
first
gets worse.
episode?
Yeah, first episode.
Yeah, first episode. I don't
Okay.
love the first episode though, so
Yeah.
maybe
It's a bit much.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I showed my wife JoJo's Bizarre Adventure after we started a podcast about it.
Yeah.
It's a lot different.
And she insisted that she watched it with me. And let me tell you, watching anime with somebody who doesn't like it is one of the most stressful things in the world. Because the whole time I'm like tense in my stomach. I'm like, something happens. I'm like, oh, she hated that.
I just didn't want to watch.
That was cringe.
I just wanted to go to bed. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It was too much. All right, okay, that's Dom's story. Anybody else? Anybody
interact with
Nobody else want to?
Gabe.
You definitely get some raised eyebrows. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are doing that again.
Yeah.
We'll kick people out of the room. Like, sorry, guy. This is an important time.
Yeah.
It's exclusive.
Yeah.
You gotta keep it sacred. Is I think a part of it. You know.
Oh,
I agree,
definitely.
I agree.
The posters on the wall.
Yeah.
Well, we also have a poster on our
atmosphere.
door too. So
It's an amazing.
That way you know.
It's an amazing
that when
poster.
everything's closed, it's like this is anime time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
guys,
Do you think it's brought you guys closer together as people?
100%.
Like as friends?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or as lovers, I don't know.
It's like a I know what you did last summer situation where you all murdered somebody, you know, the crime that ties you together. It's the crime of
it's
anime.
just the hatred. Everyone's
Congratulations. Hit him with that every now and then.
Jeez.
Watch Neon Genesis, you'll understand that reference. Or don't watch it.
don't.
Don't.
Yeah.
Actually don't.
Don't.
Actually don't.
It's not
Mom,
that
if you're
much.
watching this, don't watch it.
Actually,
Please, yeah.
I remember when they announced that Neon Genesis was coming to Netflix and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, gotta watch #1 rated anime." So excited, you're just
You don't realize.
It's
It's the
Jesus.
#1 rated anime?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
wow.
it
If
in
it's a
like
patrician, you know.
Steins Gate and
Steins Gate. I want to watch
Um,
Steins Gate. I can't find it anywhere.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood's usually near the top.
But usually,
Yeah.
so for Neon Genesis Evangelion, it's for like the guys who, like a good example of this is Dr. Brandon, like Professor Brandon at the college, the theater guy.
I had him. You
Yeah.
seen it?
No, he's like huge.
He's a huge anime guy. He
Nice.
teaches a class. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's-
he's-
yeah.
class?
He teaches a class.
We're
yeah.
signing up.
He teaches, he teaches a seminar in anime. But
Be an
his,
interesting crowd.
I mean, when I first watched Neon Genesis Evangelion and I finished End of Evangelion, I immediately messaged him and said, we need to meet up and talk about it because I have no idea what I just watched.
Yeah.
And he was like super down, and then we had a great chat about it. So, you know, he's a great dude. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
it's definitely more of like the guys that are like anime, you know,
Yeah.
like that really like Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is why Silas likes it so much. Is you know, when it comes to the
He's got to be patrician about everything.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you know from his music tastes.
I
but-
know. I had this thought today where I was like, you know, us Strahleys, we can't like things that other people like because it's the whole thing where like we haven't watched Attack on Titan yet, and when I talk
Yeah.
to people, they're like, why didn't you watch Attack on Titan yet, man? It's the one. It's the one. I'm like, it's a little basic, you know.
I watched the first season when it came out. and
I've watched the
everybody
first
was watching
season. Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Do you not like it?
Well, I thought it was fine. I thought it was too much. You know?
How so?
Like it just.
I feel like
That
Neon
takes
is
too
too
much.
much.
Yeah. Well, like too much is like Neon Genesis is like there's a lot of downtime and stuff. We get,
There's
like,
no
weird.
downtime.
I think one of the mics isn't one of the cords isn't like copper stripped. We're getting radio interference. You know, so I mean, we're getting the best of the hits right now. It's going through this. But sorry. No, I watched it. The whole time I was thinking like, I feel like it's just pushing some sort of violence envelope, and it's just going to keep making me fall in love with characters and then gruesomely murdering them, and that was just going to be the whole game.
Which
And I was
is
like, well, you
which
can
is
only
sort of
pull
like
that so
the
many times.
it's
Don't
the,
spoil it.
Yeah,
We just watched an
We just
episode and
watched,
was
yeah.
kind of
It's
did
like the
that.
Game of
Did he-
Thrones issue.
Yeah.
That was
Is he got
fun.
on?
Walking Dead.
We're not going to spoil it. No
Yeah.
spoilers. No spoilers.
Is
But
he gone, dude?
we just watched episode 5. We just watched episode 5.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
anyone has seen it.
Yeah, I have a friend in Washington who is like, you know, if you think Silas is deep, like this guy is deep. You know, he's the kind of dude who's like, I subscribe to different services so that if like the second it airs in Japan, I get it sort of guy.
Yeah.
And he introduced me to this show called Made in Abyss, which is about this like it's a classic anime thing where it's like let's take a what if scenario and just make an entire society around it. But it's you know oh what if there was just this pit in the middle of the ocean and if you climb down it you got treasure and that's the whole thing right. But it's the whole point of it is it's like cutesy. And I was like, what the hell, dude? Like, I don't want to watch this. And he's like, no, dude, you gotta give it a chance, you know? And all the characters are like, they're kids, you know? They're all going on this big boy adventure, and they're all climbing down. And then it just flips in the last episode. And there's this scene where these two, basically children, are melded together and become like a flesh monster. And then after, like, they're like, kill me, you know? And you're like watching this just... What the hell is going on, right?
Full metal.
It's
Full metal.
right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
with that, you know, that episode, which you know kept me up for like 3 days when I was in 7th grade and saw it for the first time.
Yeah.
But you know, it's got like a weird there's this edge thing. There's this edge obsession where it feels like sometimes they really want to push envelopes, which Neon Genesis Evangelion pushes a lot of envelopes.
Different, but yes.
Different envelopes, but I feel like you kind of have to be into extreme media, if that makes sense, you know?
Like watching r/people dying.
Yeah, not like that, but like you kind of have to be like, oh, I'm into the idea of my buttons being pushed a lot, right? Like watching like Grindhouse.
I'm
Pushed out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably, I don't know, that seems a little extreme of a reading, just because a lot of anime doesn't do
Yeah,
that.
a lot of anime is like, oh, this boy is so cute.
Yeah,
Who's the
literally.
cutest boy? When you guys got a tier list of cutest boy?
We have-
Oh, you got the waifu tier list?
Maybe
Oh,
it's
wow.
it's different. It's different for everyone. Nation's weird takes always. What? Tell it.
No, I actually probably Misato. In all honesty.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is not a normal.
No, but he has a weird one. So like in Erased.
The erased delivery.
There's a girl. There's a girl that's there for maybe 3 episodes of the whole series, and Nation's just like, no, that's the one, man. That's the one.
He's got a
She's
type.
What is she? 3 episodes up. What
She's
is she?
supportive. I mean, she's
Ride or die?
Yeah, ride or die.
She is ride or die.
She thinks this guy killed his own mom
Yeah.
and still helped him to like, escape. Like that's
Is that based? Is that kind of a red flag?
Goodness.
Yeah.
Speaking of based in cringe, we got to move on to the Patreon section. of the
Patreon
episode.
questions.
Patreon questions. Thank you so much to our patrons. You're what allows us to do this thing.
Yeah.
And you know, we love the fact that we are able to be in the green on this and not completely bleeding money every
Yes.
time we get together to do it. So we appreciate that. For those on the highest tier, the top tier, the ones that we shout out, the lieutenants. First and foremost, Joe Pappalardo.
Joe
Pappalardo.
Second, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
There you go. And so,
I like when Joe Pappalardo's above Mom and Dad.
well, he was our first, dude.
No,
he
yeah,
was
the
our
second
first.
the Patreon went up, he was like, boom. And he's like, that's king.
Yeah,
move
that's
right
a king
there.
move. All right, so
Dominic, you're gonna follow in the famous
Nah.
footsteps.
I didn't pay for all your food, Silas. It's okay.
So during this section, we have questions from the second highest tier, our $10 tier AMA questions. Only people that are in or above that tier are our 2 highest right now. So if you want to enter in there, that'd be sweet. All right, so first foremost, Joe Pappalardo asks, to all 4 of you individually, would high school you bully college you?
no.
No?
No.
Why, you too swole now?
No. I was in theater in high school,
Yeah.
and I actually can't say the other thing, but it's
I've said this multiple times that our own group that I don't think I would have bullied myself, but I feel like I would have in high school bullied Nashe in high school, and I think that's.
But now I bully him now. So
Yeah.
There you go. It all comes full circle.
Yeah.
Dom.
I think I definitely would have. I mean, I joined a frat and in an anime club, like so. Just 2 things: anime and frat. I did not like that in high school. So
There you
thanks,
go.
Silas.
Fair enough.
You probably like
You
2 of
would
those things.
have been swirly city.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this isn't a world in which you are actually actively a bully when you were in high school.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How about you, Gabe?
I don't think I would, as long as I keep it at a respectable level. If I go beyond maybe what we're at now.
Okay, but like
If you make it your personality.
What about
Yeah, if you make it your personality,
but
it's like, all right, buddy.
if you
chill.
told your high school self that you watched Neon Genesis, just no context.
And also, your high school self knew
And they knew
What it was.
And they knew what it was.
Yeah.
I'd probably, I'd bully.
Yeah.
All right, Leon specifically, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to let you guys know, you're all on a government watch list now.
Yeah, we know.
For having
we know.
watched that.
Yeah. And for other reasons that we don't mention on the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so
Thank
this.
you, Joe Pappalardo.
Thank you, Joe Pappalardo. This one is a rather extreme question.
Jeez.
Non-Strehle members of the anime club.
Dang.
Does your mom know you watch this overly sexualized trash? Does your mom
Probably
know?
from my mom. My mom probably said that.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've told my mom. I told her that I'm a part of anime club, And it's lit. That's what I told her.
And she said, hell yeah, base.
Definitely she was a little apprehensive, but I think she trusts me enough not to do something stupid. But,
What's something you could do that would be stupid in anime?
Watch Neon.
I
haven't told her about that.
Dom.
Like kind of.
That's a no.
They don't, but like Nashe told a family friend to then announce it at our dinner table.
You're talking about Brant?
No, other guy.
Different guy? Okay.
Different guy. And Brant's...
Because Brant's not a rat.
Yeah, Brant's not a rat. Brant's very good about that. No, but... So I don't think they remember. But they were told.
Well, I met this random guy at a party, and apparently he knew the Pappalardo. So I just mentioned.
The first thing he said to them was, "Oh, I'm an anime club with him." Like that's the defining character. So no, I don't think they know.
All right.
I should. My mom knows that me and my brothers have always watched like cartoons or shows like that. I wouldn't say anime club specifically. I don't know what her reaction would be to the wall.
It's artsy.
Yeah, describe the wall. You guys have been mentioning it over and over again. You gotta describe the wall.
Go for it, Gabe.
Every time I wake up in the morning, and I look at that wall, I'm like, damn.
You're like, I'm ready for great books.
Honestly,
what a great day to be a charger.
What a great day to be a charger.
So when we were doing that, like it was previously mentioned, when we were printing them out in the library. We printed out one of the posters, and we were dying laughing from it. Right? It's hilarious. And we have them all flipped upside down on the table so no one can see, right? And we're dying laughing. And then Dom's girlfriend walks in on us dying laughing. She said, "What are you guys laughing about?" We're like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all.
But she goes to your room and sees.
She's seen him now. And she was... It was a tough moment, you know. She's very disappointed.
You know, there's these crucial moments in a relationship. That just,
really
they burn very hot, and you just become closer at the
Dom
end.
has a lot of those actually.
You're gonna litigate down to this. Let's just do that now.
Is that Patreon content?
Where do you see yourself in 3 years, Dom?
No. We wouldn't do that to you. All right, cool, interesting.
That would be breaking some sort of contract. You came here assuming that you would be talking about the most embarrassing thing that you do.
Anime, not anything
So
else.
let's talk about the crew as an exclusive group, right? So like, you're 4 guys. You tend to be like, if you're not watching anime with us, get out of the room and we're watching Neon Genesis Evangelion because it's cringe. If somebody who was like a rad dude, pretty cool, based, who was like, hey, I'd be interested in joining anime club.
Yeah. So, there's 2 things I'd say about that.
Maybe like had a basement that you could kind of like watch it in.
So basically, there's 2 things. One, the bylaws in which are not actually formed. There is steps to join.
Oh wow!
But furthermore, we have one more
person. Do they have
person.
to sing one OP from memory?
Then to get us that'll be in the bylaws. So thank you, Shad.
That's pretty good.
No, but we have one more
in
person.
Japanese, of course.
We have one more person in the group chat. His name's John. So he watched Demon Slayer, and he was really into Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
So he would come down every single day that we would watch and plop down and watch it with us. And he went through the entirety of it, and it was cool. But he's just a little more of he's a little busier, we'll say, than us, or
because you guys
busier / less committed.
What's the average days a week that you
Depends on the week.
There are weeks where we do probably 6, and we do 3 or 4 episodes a night.
I think it's my biggest time commitment on it.
But when we try to finish Neon, we win, or even Full Metal.
Full Metal was the most.
Full Metal, we do 4 episodes a night.
There was I would say 3.
We would do 4.
So it would depend. It kind of depends on when you get close to the
TV
end.
watching just for anybody.
No,
it's only an hour, 20.
So it would get to the when we get to the end of a show, right? And it's just kind of that light at the end of the tunnel, where you're like, there's only 5 more episodes. What if we just buckled down, stayed up till 1, and finished it? And that would happen a couple times.
Or skip class like I did yesterday.
No, tell them what they didn't. Oh no, that wasn't.
It wasn't. So it was. I skipped chemistry to watch anime. Yeah. And apparently that chemistry class, I'd made a comment about how I found LSD and different like drugs like interesting. I found it interesting, and so it's interesting. So my chemistry teacher did a bunch of research and then made a ton of slides about it for me specifically, and then I skipped it for anime.
This guy also watches anime too.
He watches anime too.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I know this. I know the guy.
So he was talking
But that's
about
also
Alchemist.
super cringe. Yeah. Is this a Creed?
Walsh.
Okay.
He asked for. He was like, "Does anyone know a famous alchemist?" And I raised my hand and said, "Edward Elric." It was awesome.
No one else got that right.
Yeah. He totally understood. So it was awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So your professional and personal lives have suffered because of Anime Club.
Yeah.
100%.
This is sort of like the persecution barometer, you know, where it's like how much of a Christian are you really? Unless you could give up commitments, wake up early for it, right? Like,
we're anime martyrs. Really?
Really, you're creating a sainthood of anime here.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of other potential entrance requirements. I think that one, you have to memorize an OP, sing it in the entirety.
Can
of
it be
Japanese.
the 4 Kids One Piece one?
Yeah, One Piece.
No, it's definitely
I don't know why.
We have some of these written down. Like you have to watch a whole show. That's something that we have written down.
Also, you have to.
So like after that would be initiation.
No, it would be like then you have to give us $30 so we can buy snacks. That's in the bylaws. So there's things like that.
So
also.
is there an initiation ritual? Now that now that you guys are in a fraternity, like you should probably understand the initiation's important.
We haven't had anyone to initiate yet.
Let's just say that there's nobody lighted up to join.
Well, they're not committed. You know, they're not committed. You got to be committed.
Then in community, that you say you have to go through these trials.
Yeah, we lay down our homework, our classes,
our lives.
Yeah, basically our lives.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh man, I like the idea of somebody walking into the room. You know, everything's dark. There's all these candles everywhere, illuminating the waifus. Right? I'll walk up in hoods and like, are you ready to embark on the mysteries?
Beautiful. Yeah. Honestly, you would just play the first 5 minutes of Neon Genesis Evangelion. The end of
Evangelion. Yeah.
If they can make it through. I won't go any further than that.
That's hazing.
That is unlawful.
Nationals is gonna get on your ass.
This actually brings up another interesting thing.
Wait, real quick. Actually, wasn't there actually a legitimate incorporated anime club?
There was, at least during our years.
Yeah.
And which makes me wonder if there currently is.
It's probably in the student-fed
ledger somewhere. So
you could show up. I mean, that would require you publicizing yourselves, but you could show up and say,
"Look, what are we doing here?"
Because usually what happens is there's a bank account associated with it, which is required for student fed funds, and usually if it's approved by student fed, they receive a stipend of sometimes
we need to do this now.
Say no more.
Yeah, sometimes well over a couple grand.
And there might be money in there.
There might be money in there now because if they
that they didn't spend.
they didn't spend.
Guys.
Just TV. Just get a.
Yeah. The problem is that you have to share your constitution, which I don't know.
No, we have.
PG,
I'm not gonna say that. Yeah. We have certain things in the bylaws about Dominic in particular. So it's just like I think it's 4C.
Do you have?
I don't even remember that.
Do you have it written down?
Yeah,
it's on my computer.
It's on Dom's computer.
It's on a OneNote.
I thought it would be funny if we read it for the Patreon.
It would have been
about
good.
it.
It would have been good.
Oh well, cringe.
All
right, so
Thomas or something.
Go ahead, text someone to the top.
I mean, hey,
try it.
I want to see if I actually would even be allowed in anime club.
Yeah.
I want to see if that's the case.
Technically,
it's pretty
no,
exclusive.
because you gotta watch it with us. Dylan is closer than you are.
Oh gosh.
as always.
I got to start with hitting the rubber. Got to hit the road on this one.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Well, so hypothetically, if there is an anime club operating right now,
Yes.
right, sanctioned by the student government, right, would you in any way be interested in a peace mission, or are you so interested in the community that you have built within your insular group? Would you prefer that?
100%.
The first one.
I'm gonna answer. Oh, for the first one, you want a coup?
I want a coup.
that.
There's money that we could grab.
Yeah.
It's like
You want to assert
So
dominance.
what's up the dream, man? $2,000. You guys get $2,000 tomorrow. What do you do with it? It has to go to club stuff.
I think we get posters,
You know how many posters we
TV.
could buy?
poster TV.
Posters. Yeah.
We wouldn't need Dom's card anymore.
Yeah. I would have to commit felonies in order to supply for our club.
You'll have the
More
company
blackmail.
card at that point.
Allegedly.
All right, so allegedly, so first off, Crunchyroll subscription.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that is.
Ad-free
Oh my
streaming.
gosh. Yes.
Which
I mean, everything's
just
ad-free.
found out this morning that
Something
Netflix is officially going to add supported.
Yes.
Oh.
So,
Really?
yeah,
Yep.
as of this
You
morning.
can't even use that as an ad.
Wait, when's
anymore.
that?
Wait,
when
I don't
is
know
that
when it
going to affect?
happened.
They had the first drop and
Even if
subscribe. Yeah, even if you subscribe.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if you subscribe.
It's like
It's gonna be
Hulu.
like Hulu.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
horrible.
much to
For
look forward to.
every level. subscription.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For- as far as we understand.
Plus,
And
they're also
then-
trying to crack down like on people using it outside of the home too. They're like tracking
Password
people's
sharing.
IP addresses so they can't password share. I mean, it's a whole thing. So
Yes.
it's gonna be tough. There's working a young boy watch anime. You know,
I know.
Yeah,
he needs to be
That's lame.
malformed by
Yeah.
the
D-
East.
okay, so what do you, Shad Dylan, what do you
Yeah.
think the odds are that I can convince mom to get a Crunchyroll subscription? If I just don't tell
For
her
the
what it
family?
is, you know, if I just don't tell her what it is, be like, hey mom.
What do you? How dumb do you think our mother is?
But here's the thing, Dad would be along with it.
That's true.
I watched Attack on Titan with Dad.
Yes.
We watched the entire first season together.
Yeah.
Guys, this is far too Machiavellian.
Could we do a coup to get rid of the Strehle?
The Strehle element is too strong.
Element in this government
The
is
foundation, man, we'd have nothing. What would you do? You have us watch Death Note the whole time.
You'd be like, what do we
Run
watch
it back.
next?
Run
It's
it
like, I don't know how to use Google. I don't know if this isn't cringe.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, gosh.
You do need to have that buffer. I think it's like with any entertainment. I'm
Yeah.
much more likely to watch something if somebody I trust tells me if it's
We don't
good.
trust Silas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of burnt it. I
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
burnt
you
out on
go-
my
you-
trust.
You definitely you went a little too hard too quick. I'm just gonna say that. But
So, okay, so,
yeah. But
so here's something.
I mean, were your horizons expanded? Yeah.
I think I was a little taken aback from anime, you know?
Yeah.
If we were watching Attack on Titan right now, I think I might just be done for the year. Like
But-
there were talks of being done for the summer. you know?
Gosh, dude.
but
It was
Attack-
dramatic.
Dark times in the
Exactly.
universe.
Yeah, yeah.
Anime called Civil
so,
War.
but here's the thing. Why the only reason that we're still here, right? In my opinion, is because I do a very unpopular thing in anime circles called skipping.
Yeah.
Which in the JoJo sphere, we haven't watched JoJo yet, so I'm not a part skipper.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not gonna do that to him.
Come on, man.
I can't because especially
I would
with YouTube.
I would cry, dude. No brother of mine's a part skipper.
Yeah, but basically, there's a certain point in Death Note that some people debate. Nashe argues with me about this because he went on and watched it by himself. That I was like, actually, let's leave it with a good taste in our mouth and
Yeah.
stop here. Same thing
It was
with
a good
Demon
taste.
Slayer,
It was a little weird the last episode we watched.
but it was,
It was, yeah, sure.
You enjoyed
It
it.
was a good show.
Yeah.
Same with Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer, it might have been a bad move because everyone here now thinks Demon Slayer is amazing.
Yeah.
Which I disagree with, but it's just because I left off with one of the best anime episodes, in my opinion.
The best.
I would disagree.
Okay.
The best fighting scene.
Yes, probably the best fighting scene in anyone that we've watched.
Not even the Oscar one at the end of the
Yeah, they don't.
That
They
It
don't.
was good, but
They
it
won't
wasn't-
give anything to Eden
Uh,
Evangelion.
Oscar's based.
Yeah, Oscar's pretty basic. Yeah.
But basically, it was like I think it's episode 19 or something like that, and
Yeah.
then there's like 8 more episodes, which Gabe actually went on to watch. That just it kind of lets down from it. It actually the next episode lets down a lot, right, Gabe?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you came to me the next day after you watched it, and you're like, "Are you kidding me? They actually did that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
I was really upset at that. 'Cause I support you in your decision to have us stop off there because
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was such a
So you
thrilling
don't,
conclusion.
Sorry?
with
You don't
Death
support
Note.
Not with Death,
Oh.
not with Death Note,
Yeah.
and I don't want to spoil it for these two, but
Yeah.
I think there's an important the ending is very important in Death Note because, especially with Light, I think you need to see his downfall. Like it's a little bit of a spoiler, but you need to see that in order to understand the entire show, and even in the I'm a Death Note, I'm a Light fan.
Yeah.
I don't like.
I'm a Death Note. I identify as a
As
Death Note. As the Shigami.
Shinigami.
Shoot.
Here's your knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh
Jeez.
my
Jeez.
Don't question me, buddy.
Turns out.
You're actually now on my level.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Promoted.
Yeah.
Dropped.
So, yeah, I'm a Light fan, but even I think it's necessary to kind of see his downfall in the end of the show. And I think there's, the people that, catch him. I think that whole thing is pretty dumb. I don't like that. But I like the way that he falls, and especially the end with the staircase and everything like that, where he's on the middle of the staircase. He can't go to heaven or hell. He's there's a lot of symbolism in that is just, I think, very rich.
There you go.
Rich,
We got
rich.
this boy. He loves his Death Note.
Yes. That's my Death Note.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally understandable. Totally
How are we doing on time, Jamie?
57 minutes.
57
Jesus
minutes. All right,
Christ.
we got to start wrapping this
Oh,
up
Jamie.
then.
We gotta
All right,
start
cool.
wrapping this up.
So you're gonna still run into people. You know, you come up here, you explained yourself. You know, you gave a pretty good explanation to why you do it, how it came to be. Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna still have detractors that are gonna be like cringe, dude. You know, people are gonna see this.
Unbased.
You know, Silas's friends back home, they're gonna see this and they're gonna be like, I cannot believe you would do such a thing. It's
true.
Again, super cringe. What do you have to say to those detractors? So those people out there that no matter what you say to them, they're always gonna say cringe. But you know, if you have the platform right now, what do you have to say?
They're always going to be haters, man. You can explain yourself, you justify yourself
Yep.
any way you can, and they're just going to have to disagree, and they're wrong.
They're wrong. Okay.
Don't
I feel like this is a question you'd ask an MMA fighter who's like said something that he shouldn't have and is now explaining himself.
I'd like to take this moment.
There are going to be haters out there. They're going to be wrong.
I'll say just don't knock it till you try it. You know.
Yes.
Don't knock it till you try it.
That's what I would agree with.
And when you try it, still knock it, just to keep yourself sane. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I think you have to be aware of the of the stigmas,
Yeah.
you know, and of
Stay
the
grounded.
stereotypes. Yeah, you gotta acknowledge it. Acknowledge like when a scene comes on and everyone looks at Silas and like, what the hell, dude? Why are we watching this? You know, you're like, yeah, keep watching past this scene, and then you get to it, you know.
Yeah.
And there's always those parts, but you just gotta admit that there's cringy things, but then also admit that there's good things in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nish?
Yeah, I think like Silas said, I think admitting the cringy things and like I know with Demon Slayer, like that yellow guy, like there were moments when just the anime moments, and you're like, I don't like those moments.
I didn't get
but
to him. Is he like classic like archetypal horn dog character?
No.
No.
And he really likes the girl, yes,
Yeah.
but he's a whiner.
Oh, he's the whiny guy.
Yeah.
over the top.
Yeah,
It's
he's
just
So
so
like he's just always very animated,
He's always got-
crying.
Yeah, he's got the
and
two
just-
cry lines.
Yeah.
trying to like fall down on the ground and not go places. Just
Yeah.
there's one episode in particular where if people have watched it, they're on that road in the field going, I think to the house. With
Based
the
on what I've
drunk
seen of
guys.
Demon Slayer, there's a lot of guys walking on roads and fields.
Yes. And that's the first time he shows up, and the whole first half of that episode, he just doesn't
Yeah.
move. He just
Great.
sits there and whines, and it was rough.
I like
Hilarious.
how the majority of what you guys said still could be applied to drugs. We're like, hey, don't tell you try. You know, people are always going to tell you no. You got to push through. You know, there's a lot of stigma.
Yeah, you got to know what you're going into when you
Yeah.
enter into it.
Exactly. So.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's all very legitimate thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, as you know, these two guys that went through the whole thing without any good, you know, very popular guys to do it with. You know, we were still stigmatized against heavily
yeah.
when we were in.
I've watched Gundam from the 70s. If we want to go there.
Yeah. It's cool to see this institution has been founded, and hopefully, much like the college itself, it is around for hundreds of years.